Greetings, folks. Welcome back to the Tractor Fella Show, where we know nothing about tractors. On today's episode, we're going to continue part 2 of this beautiful Super Bronco ground mutilator. Let's go ahead and resume where we were, which was checking out the oil in the drive system. Did I really need to tighten that down? Was that absolutely necessary? Anyway, the manual said this bar all the way up, let it sit flat, pull the plug, and the oil should be partway up the drive shaft. Okie dokie, in you go. Let's turn up the light. There we go. I see no oil at all. At all. Wow, it is empty. Well, that's not great. Do we have a hemorrhaging seal? Whoops. That goes up to below the engine. That's probably, yep, that's where the pulley is. But dang, there is nothing in there. Oh, we got a little rust. Well, for all I know, we could put oil in this thing and it could come out of every single seal. In the rear where the tines are, in the front where the wheels are. I mean, will it be the worst thing to repair? Probably not. Especially if I want to keep something like this so we can have our own garden here at the house. Well, why don't we tip this forward, take a better look at our greasy situation. Well, that little pusher bar on the front is quite convenient for multi-purposes. Okay, where are we leaking from? Well, there's a heavy leaker right there. Like, really heavy. Like that seal's completely blown out. Left side looks okay. How about the drive? Yeah, this one looks like it's weeping. But I think our biggest problem... What is that? Is that a broken belt? Well, bummer. Finding all kinds of stuff on this thing. It's just falling apart. So that's going to be our biggest problem, right there. So my initial thoughts. I'm thinking we can probably survive with that seal weeping a little bit. This one, no. I would like to fix this first, because I'm not going to pour a bunch of oil in there and then have it just leak all out. Looks like this old gal's had a bit of a rough life. I wonder if we can just fit somewhere. Beautiful-ish-esque. Looks like we have a shear pin right here. So why don't we go ahead and just pull that off and see what comes off with it. I'm hoping that this whole set of tines just slides right off and then we get a little better idea of what's going on. This is turning into quite the project, if I do say so myself. Are we ready? 15 millimeter. That's never been replaced. Still has factory paint on it. Use the appropriate hammer. Now we have a punch and the appropriate hammer. All right, beautiful. Now you know this isn't just going to pull right off, right? This is probably going to be near impossible. Stay. Now you know this is just going to pull right off and it's not going to be too difficult at all, right? Okay. There we have it. There's our tine set, if that's what you want to call it. Let's get some gloves, clean that up. What do we have here? Sticks and stones. May break my seals. Unless that's actually part of the seal. Does that look like part of the seal to you? Or just somebody's piece of wire they let? No, that's definitely part of the seal. Yeah, this thing's leaking like crazy. Okay, so the next question is how to get the seal out. You guys agree and that should just pull right out, right? I think I'm just going to go for it. Got this little guy right here. Worst case scenario, we rip it all apart. But I'm hoping that I can just sort of grab an edge. We just got to get the right angle. It should just pop right out. Slide right out. Come right out. Whatever. Hypothetically speaking. Possibly. Maybe one of these days. There's probably easier ways to do this. And I would be happy if you enlightened me. Ooh, that baby is on there. Dang. Frickin' thing. This thing is not going quietly. Oh, the frickin' hot tub's been on the whole time. That'll be great for the audio. Oh my good lord. What I need is one of those sweet slide hammers that are welded onto a pair of vice grips. because my seal puller ain't doing it. Just gonna rip the frickin' metal off. Holy cow. Would they Loctite this in there? Yeah, I'm definitely pulling the rubber right out of the seal. Can you tell this is the first time I've ever pulled a seal out of something? No, that's not true. I replaced the crankshaft seal on the front cover of a high-value V6 from a Buick Century. Oh my gosh, this is comical. And a learning experience, we'll call it that. It's probably torture for most of you. There we go. Oh, you started to move. That's why you don't say anything when you start making progress. You jinx it. Let's do this. Unbelievable. Nope, this is just really, really What if we go in from the side and then pry out? That might give me a better angle of attack. All right, are your fingers crossed? How about your toes? That's not gonna happen. Did you see that? It was coming out. I just hammered it back in. Oh yeah. This is getting real fun. And the best part is all I can smell is a bunch of rancid gear oil. It's moving. Any of you seen Galaxy Quest? Never give up. Never surrender. Movie cracks me up. We are not giving up or surrendering. Are we? I gotta take a picture of this for the main screen. It's so bad. I was hoping I could find a part number on this. How's that gonna go for me now, huh? So is the primary casing in oil seals, is it made of aluminum foil? That's what I'm starting to think here. Yep, definitely aluminum foil. All right, strategy revision 38.5. Hammer a punch in there and see if the punch itself will pull it out. Oh my gosh. It's moving. Don't say anything. Don't even look at it. This is insane. Is anyone out there still watching? I'd be surprised. Apparently we have to do this step by step and day by day. Sorry, I hit you in the face. I'm getting pretty good at punching you, aren't I? Not gonna say anything. Definitely not gonna say anything. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I win. Not you. I win. That was something else, folks. That was something else. Probably more embarrassing to me than anything else. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up a diagram and see what I can find as far as parts. Let's go see if we destroyed the case. No, it doesn't look bad overall. I mean, the shaft itself is kind of rusty, and that's probably not going to help any sealing situations. Looked like I may have put a dent or two in the axle. My bad. Hopefully I can get the seal on a different surface and we won't have to worry about it. I took a file and I smoothed down some of the burrs that were inside here. I also was then able to get some 1000 grit in there and polish it up a bit, get rid of some of the rust. So after all that work, this will probably seal up about as good as a colander. Time to go find that part number now. It is a new, bright, and shiny, optimistic day. I found this tag on the Super Bronco, so we have our model number. And then I went on Google, our best friend, and there it is, 12210 Troy-Bilt Super Bronco rear tine tiller. Bolo tines? Is that what they're called? Oh, I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, bolo tines. Well, that's interesting. Pretty fancy. I'm guessing we're going to have to find the housing, though. Housing covers seals, gaskets, and plugs. Okay, so what do we have? Stop that. There's our plug, number 1. So we need the seals that are back here in the back. Okay, number 10. What do we have for number 10? $18. Screenshot. 1909374 oil seal. So is the part number superseded? Which happens a lot. Who knows, maybe this is an early Bronco and they updated the seals because they were failing like crazy. Yeah, the seal number's changed. 7210436. Let's try that. Okay, oil seal replaces 1909374, 7210436. So now we've got a third part number. 921-04036. Is that the latest and greatest? Oh, that's a perfect picture. Thank you very much. Good news is we can just go ahead and copy that. This is how my searches go. Never ending. Oh, look at that. Replacementkits.com, tiller tine seals. That looks familiar. 2 of them for 18 bucks. Reviews. Seals good. Too much slack and axle still leaked, so I filled the Bilt gear case with corn head grease. Hey, whatever works, buddy. Use 1/8 inch drill bit to put holes in the old seal. Installed small machine screws in 1/8 inch holes to pull the old seal out. Worked as it should. Okay, well, maybe I should have read that first. Alright, that's exactly what I was looking for. 14 items in my cart. Well, I should probably go through that. What's happening, folks? It's a new day. So I got the seals ordered for the Bronco. Hopefully they'll come in tomorrow. And then, so in the meantime, I think maybe we start putting the engine back together. Seems like a good idea to me. Like I said, we're really testing out that front oil seal. Actually, the only thing that leaked was the crankcase ventilation system, which makes sense since it's a direct line to the crankcase. I think that'll work. I'm gonna have to order some new gloves pretty soon. I have a metal roof. One of those metal roofs that looks like it's shingles. So when we bought the place, they're like, oh yeah, that'll last you 50 years. Don't even worry about it. That roof right there, that's a metal roof. You'll never have to worry about it. Yeah. How's that working out now? Anybody want to buy a house? So I went up there and sealed all the cracks between the panels above the leak. Hopefully that'll take care of that. Let's go ahead and fix up this wire first, shall we? No, doggies, I'm not whistling for you. I'm just whistling to whistle. Oh man, I can't wait till Titan gets that frickin' cone off his head. That should be enough there. Oh my gosh, what? In the words of Peg from Zip Ties and Bias Plies, you are stunned, dog. Always has to talk. Why am I doing tape and shrink wrap? Well, if it wore through by chance and it wasn't eaten by a rodent, this will give us some extra protection. Purple scissors. Why did I put these on when I'm not actually doing anything with gas or oil? Get out my soldering tackle box. Grab the Berkling. There we go. Heat gun. And she's glowing. Let's put it on a flammable paper towel. Woo! Toasty. Berkling, still going strong. We'll let that cool off. Okay. Coal wire is done. So I tipped her back forward, and it dumped out a bunch of something. Am I too worried about it? No, because we had it in the wrong. Because we had it straight up and down. But it's definitely gear oil. I'm going to be really excited if the front seal on this gear drive case is blown out. Because that's a whole nother ball of wax. I mean, at this point, we might as well just do a frame-off restoration of this thing. Pretty sure it's just one bolt. Or screw, rather. Okay. Are you serious? I can't take it out? Inspection time. I'm starting to think filling this case up with grease is, in fact, a good idea. Oh, yeah, it's leaking out the front. Oh, yeah, it's leaking out the front. I gotta tell you, sometimes I feel like I fell off the common sense tree and just blasted all the branches on the way down. You notice anything? You know, gaping? Open? It's kind of hard to keep the oil in when the machine's tipped vertically if the fill plug is out. Alright, well, common sense lesson of the day. If you pull out a plug, put it back in. So if I do recall, this is the hole where the coil wire went through to go plug into the coil. And that is extremely sharp on the edges. There's a lot of burr there, so let's go ahead and file that down. I definitely just put all of these files away. Yet another exciting task on the Tractor Fella Show. Filing burrs. How are we feeling? Oh, that's nice. Nice and smooth. What do you say we put our linkage plate back on? As I have so lovingly named it. But first, need to go get my coil wire. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful repair. That should last the life of the machine, or at least until it blows out another seal. Pinch the tab, stick the wire through, release the tab, wiggle it around, kill switch engage. Thread our wire through our little hole here, and plug it back onto the coil. There we go, looking good. In other news, the scribe mark that I put on top of the governor post right here is mostly gone. So that's great. I was really hoping to struggle with something else, you know, learn more life experiences. They say it builds character. All the extensions. Use the calibrated elbow. We are in business. Almost. Now I have to figure out how to index the frickin' governor. I can see. Can you see? I can see. Let's see together. I can see some scribe right here. And I believe I can see the scribe right here. Right about there. There we go. We done. All right, I think we're good there. Things are still moving. I didn't seize anything up, so that's a bonus. We have our governor request lever. What do you think? Ripcord next and front cover? Trying to make sure I get all these sequence of events correct. Because I don't believe... no one cares. Really, dude. No one cares at all. This beauty goes right here. Will it rip? It will rip. And we still have good squeeze. I'm gonna have to contact Bilt and tell the sticker people they need to put their stickers in the right spot. It's just totally unacceptable. I mean, it's tarnishing the condition of this machine. I have a feeling we're gonna want to put the gas tank on first, because this is gonna block those holes. Get off of there. It's amazing. You let something sit for more than 2 hours and the frickin' spiders just invade. We know the carburetor's up here, so pretty sure this is gonna go like this. Oh, things are coming together. All the extensions. Beautiful. Just beautiful. So it dawned on me the other day that I have another coil. That coil is in pretty crummy shape. Some of the sheets of steel are separating, but that doesn't mean we can't rip the boot off and perhaps use it here. Short answer, no. For the 8 of you loyal viewers out there, do you remember that red mower that had no cover on it and it was a real disaster and I almost shot a socket across the garage because I used a drill to start it? That was terrifying. Well, sometimes it's good to hoard things. This is a decent looking boot, so maybe we'll get lucky. Now, it is significantly smaller, but you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it is really ringing true right now. For those of you that didn't notice, the contact stayed inside the boot, and now the wire is just hanging out. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna keep that positive, oh yeah. Apparently it's dump truck day today. Anyway, we're gonna keep that positive attitude. Oh, we can fix that, no problem. Use these gargoyle pliers to hold the other end so I don't cut my finger. I think that's acceptable. All right, I'm gonna stuff this back in there. Just where it was. She ain't going nowhere. Now, is this long enough? Barely. Is it wide enough? Barely. Let's get a little lubricant in this situation. Because we all know that lubricants help conduct electricity. After all, we don't want to rip our newly used boot. Oh man. Is this the best day ever or what? Is that a tight seal on the plug? No. No, it's not. Not at all. Does that concern me? No, not particularly. Primarily because of the fact that it's no longer, you know, like this. Oh, poor floppy ear boy. We'll call you half-cocked. Yeah, unfortunately the ear damage is permanent. So he's going to be floppy on one side and erect on the other side. Well, the good news is that it hasn't leaked any more gear lube out. Probably because it's all gone. What do you say we throw on the hydrocarbon distribution center and see if we can make this baby pop to life? Even though we cleaned this, well, even though we cleaned this carburetor, this is pretty sticky. So let's throw some lubricant at it. I have been milking this can of PB Blaster for a very long time. Oh, it still has some. This is a great day. I see a lot of YouTubers just pour this stuff out like water. It's not exactly cheap. Nah, I mean. Oh, it's like brand new. Might as well have been born yesterday. Okay, so yesterday was dump truck day. Today is dumpster truck day. Let's get our protective paper towel out of there. Little spring. I've lost my socket. Where did I put the socket? I just had it. Line day fuel. Get some. To make everyone happy. Specifically to make me happy. Let's just hear it pop. Let's actually put some gas in the tank. That should be good. Oh, son of a bitch. Where is that coming from? The other end of the... Oh, and it's coming out the... What in the world? It's a flood everywhere. Okay, that was a bad idea. Well, I was able to use my cat-like reflexes and remove the fuel tank. From what I could tell, we are leaking from here. We are leaking from here. And our needle is doing absolutely nothing. I'm glad I decided not to change the oil first, because some of that may have gone into the engine and, well, right back into the crankcase. Let's... I don't know. Let's do something. Well, I can tell right away. I'm pretty sure it's just the line that's leaking and it's not actually a hole. Although now that I said that, we all know what's going to happen. The tank's going to be cracked. Finding more and more reasons why this thing was set next to the road. Well, that was super discouraging, so let's go ahead and at least start it. Maybe. Apparently we didn't get enough gas in there. Something else that's really cool. Let's just tilt that tank a little bit. Ah, yes, look at that. There's a crack where the top half meets the bottom half. Plug this hole with my finger. See where the gas... It does! It's cracked on the frickin'... Where's that coming from? Chances are this tank is not going to be salvageable. Oh, I can see the crack right there. It's a full-on crack. Crack is somewhere in this region here. Not so much here, not so much here, but right here. On the bottom, for whatever reason, this little dimple, this outlier, I don't know what the heck you want to call it, it's cracked from here to here. And there's a crack. Oh, geez, there's a crack on the surface of the tank right here. What is going on with this thing? Can't handle the vibrations or what? That or somebody flipped this thing over and dropped it on its head. Crack all the way from here to here. That whole region is cracked. It's a beautiful day today, folks. It's about 75, sunny, nice little breeze. It's going to be a great day to try to repair a gas tank and possibly burst into flames. Join me for the adventure. I bought this a long time ago, and I haven't even opened it. I was kidding, by the way. You should never take anything like this lightly. This has been evaporating for days, so all of the light ends, the explosive stuff, should be gone. I've filled it with water. I've blown it out with compressed air. We're good to go. I do not have a lot of faith in this, but we're going to try it anyway. Crack number 1. We have a line right along the top here, and this is cracked in the corner. I don't understand how all these cracks happen in the first place. It's like someone filled it with water and left it out in the winter. I don't know. I'm talking too much. Let's just do something. I know. Zoom mode sounds weird in the audio. I don't know why it does that, but first thing, let's see if we can seal up this crack. If you have not seen the review on this, I suggest you head over to the videos and take a look. Watch me do a review of this tool. It's very cool, in my opinion. I don't really know if that did anything or not. It may have just exposed the crack. Yeah, I can still put my fingernail on that crack. Maybe we just lay some plastic filler over top of it? Next, I got a crack right here in between the seams. Here's my thoughts. I'm going to stab it right into the crack. And then we're going to take this plastic filler and we're going to fill in the stab. That way we kind of expose the damage and then correct it. At least that's my theory. And yes, do this in a well-ventilated area. Our last crack is very difficult to see, but it's right in there. And that's going to be... I don't understand how that got there in the first place, for goodness sake. That was the toughest one because of the angle. That's some strong stuff, I'll tell you what. This is the filler material down here. I can't cut it with my fingernail, which I wouldn't expect to be able to, but... So my mind is kind of blowing up right now. I took the tank inside, I filled it with scalding hot water, so that way the plastic would expand and, you know, be a little more of a torture test. That is not leaking at all. So that patch is successful. That reinforcement down below also does not appear to be leaking. We'll take a better look at that in a second. This one, however, we do have a drip. Can you see it? Yeah, me either. No leaks. It's fixed on the bottom too. Well, that's pretty sweet. Now we have two options. Option number 1, we try to fix this and risk making it worse. Option 2, we do what we did with my 1995 Ford Bronco and never fill the tank above half full. Although the wise thing would be not to fill this above half full and just leave it as is, I think the 7 or 8 of you that watch regularly know that I can't not mess with something. Let's see what happens. Well, good news and bad news. The bad news is that it's still leaking. The good news is that I can see exactly where the little teeny pinhole is. Do you see it? You see that little guy right there? It's like when you're welding metal and you keep trying to fill in that little teeny pinhole, but it just won't fill in. Well, that's it. Time to take a break from the fuel tank. It's getting a little frustrating. Let's move on to the next frustration, which is that carburetor, and see what's going on with our needle. Welcome back to the toxic garage, where we constantly pollute. So I think what happened is we got some junk in the needle and seat area because this came out of the bowl, which was not there before. I guess the good news is with messing with the tank, filling it full of water, draining it, and repeat, I did notice a bunch of junk come out of the tank. I should have done a flush of the tank to begin with, but I figured it'd be okay because it looks so clean inside. However, that was not the case. I'm going to go ahead and test it with the blow technique, make sure it's going to seal again. I'm going to then put it back together, put it back on the engine, and maybe we can get an auxiliary fuel tank. You guys remember this setup for the green John Deere? Yeah, it worked pretty well. Well, today we're going to use it to try to validate our needle and seat. Call this our validation station. Grab the largest gas tank that I have. I just want enough so that it fills up the bowl. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Okay, we do have a leak. It looks like it may be external. Good news is that the needle is seating this time. The bad news is that we have an external leak at this plastic fitting. And I have no idea what goes on inside of that plastic fitting. Anybody know how these things work? So I can feel detents. Oh, it's cracked. Does everything have to be cracked? Look at this crap. Can I just rip this stupid thing out? Yes, I can. It's cracked in 4 places. What happened to this machine? It's like someone had it loaded in the back of a pickup and it just went barrel rolling down the freeway. Unbelievable. Alright, so check that out. I've never actually looked at one of these inlets, but there's like a barbed fitting for the plastic, and then there's those detent notches you feel in that knurled piece, if that's what you call it, knurled. Alright. Well, now what do I do? I'm going to think about this. Be right back. Don't judge me. Okay, fine. You can judge me. Alright, folks. Let's put some fuel in the line. Got this line on here. The barb is so perfect for it, I can't actually get it back off. We're going into a black line here, and then we're going up to our funnel, which is clamped safely on this little step ladder. I have the cover isolated out of the way. The wheels are in the freewheel position. If you put this linchpin through that, that will allow the drive to spin the wheels. I just want to see if the bolo tines work. Bolo tines. Learn something new, right? I just want to see if the tines work, see if the belts work, all that good stuff without driving into our special fuel station and causing a disastrous fire. In the words of Samuel L. Jackson, hold on to your butts. I can hear it taking it in the bowl. It sounds wrong. I can hear the bowl filling up. Let's get our tines off the ground if that's possible. Oh boy. Oh boy. Good news. The fuel has stopped dropping, so our needle and seat is working. Alright, here we go. Choke. Part throttle.